Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 9th meeting of Understanding China. I attended the first 3 meetings when they were held in Beijing with the cooperation of the Badruan Institute. I remember my first meeting with conference chairman Zheng Bijian at the time, talking about the challenges China faced at that time. But it's not clear to me whether, since our first meeting in 2013, whether China is better or worse understood today. The problem is not information, because China has been very forthcoming in making transparent to the world its hopes and its plans, and a lot of information and data are provided. The problem is emotional. The problem is the emotional difficulty by some countries to accept China's rise, to see China becoming the world's biggest economy and a major military and political power. Now imagine if we go back to the year 1800 and Europe organized a 读懂西方, Understanding Europe conference. You know, in 1793, England dispatched Lord Macartney to the Qinglong court. The response of China to the mission was disdain and dismissal. There was nothing China could learn from the West. It turned out to be a disaster for China. At that time, if China had understood the tremendous changes taking place in the West, in military technology, in finance, in politics, in social organization, it could have handled the Western challenge much better. Psychologists identify 5 stages in a patient's response to a serious, irreversible illness. First, there's denial. Then there's anger. Then there's bargaining, depression, then acceptance. First denial, then anger, then bargaining, depression, then acceptance. In an ironic way, the situation has turned 180 degrees. The Western response to China's re-emergence as a global power is firstly one of denial, followed by anger. I think it's now transitioning from anger to bargaining. But this will take time before the West fully accepts the reality and seeks truth from facts. Truth from facts is the motto of the Chinese Communist Party. It's easy to say, seeking truth from facts. But achieving it is never easy, because human beings are subjective, human beings are emotional. It is in China's interest to provide the facts so that the West can be objective. But this will not happen in a short time. We need to persist with our efforts, and conferences like 读懂中国, Understanding China, is invaluable in this regard. And we must also be patient. I attended the Peace Forum in Tsinghua University, and I was looking around for friends. And I noticed hardly any senior American was there. So I asked Yan Shuitong, the conference organizer, I said, did you not invite them? He told me, no, we did, but they didn't want to come. They didn't want to come because they were afraid of being criticized back home. Now, to me, this is a very bad sign. The world is entering a dangerous period with emotions running high. And sometimes it seems that countries do not want to understand one another. Not for lack of information, but because of conflicting emotions. In such a fraught situation, we need more peacemakers in the world. And it is good that China has been consistent and persistent in pushing for compromise, whether in Ukraine or the Middle East, understanding, and always for peace, sharing the benefits of its development with other countries, and proposing a global governance initiative to remind all of us that we have a shared destiny on this fragile planet. There is no alternative to living together, and each can destroy the other many times over. 800 years ago, the great saint, St. Francis of Assisi, in a famous prayer, reminded us that we should seek to understand rather than to be understood. It's important to be understood, but it's also very important to understand. Thank you.